We begin with a live look outside over downtown Denver. Beautiful start to the day. Picturesque start to the day over Coors Field with just a few clouds in the sky. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Evan Krugel. Let's get a check of your forecast with Weather Impact Team meteorologist Jaden Knowles. Jaden, it has been a wet start to summer, but things are drying out and heating up in a big way this week.
Yeah, that's right, Evan. Well, good morning to you as well. I haven't worked with you in a long time.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be back on the morning show. But yeah, our weather pattern is about to just completely flip upside down compared to what we saw the last couple of days. We saw severe storms really each and every day throughout this week. Luckily, no precipitation on my forecast for this afternoon. Looking outside right now, nice and gorgeous. Temperatures already in the upper 60s, low 70s. It is a very warm start. I know a lot of people are probably heading out the door this morning, maybe walking the dog or going on a nice jog this morning. 70 degrees in Centennial, 68 at the airport. Temperatures statewide right now, we're in the upper 50s, low 60s for the Eastern Plains, 40s and 50s across the high country, then already 73 degrees in Grand Junction. Today will be the hottest day that we've seen so far throughout this entire week. So we do have red flag warnings. That's going to be the main weather impact throughout the morning hours as well as we head into Sunday as well. So we're talking about winds up to 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts over towards the high country. Live radar, there's a couple of isolated showers down towards Alamosa, but that's really all the precipitation that I have left in my forecast. So if you were just curious about the temperatures today, well, here's your cooking forecast. 95 degrees is what's in my forecast for this afternoon. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hot out there. I'll tell you how hot it's going to get as we head into the rest of this weekend in my full forecast. Evan?
Sizzling at 7 p.m. Jaden, thank you. A man is dead after he was shot by Broomfield police last night. The department says it happened just after 7:30 on Flint Way. That's close to 287. Police say they were called there for reports of a disturbance. That's when an adult male was shot by police. No officers were hurt. We'll bring you more information as it comes into the newsroom. Well, the wildland firefighters who protect Colorado are at high risk for health issues related to smoke. Yet firefighters working for the federal government have long been blocked from wearing certain safety equipment. Now, for the first time, those firefighters are being encouraged to wear N95 respirators on the fire line. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez has more on how local firefighters helped drive that change.
They're putting their lives on the line for us all the time, and their health.
Wildland firefighters in Colorado may now get more protection.
There's been some studies where you kind of estimate risks based on exposures we need, and that study came up with an increased risk of lung cancer specifically.
The U.S. Forest Service is now encouraging wildland firefighters to wear protective respirators as a major policy shift years in the making.
We have a study of firefighters called the Firefighter Cancer Cohort Study. We have enrolled firefighters from Colorado, from California, from Utah and Wyoming.
Dr. Jeff Burgess says it's a start. Do you think that there's more that needs to be done on top of just respirator encouragement? Is this something that obviously can't be solved just by one thing?
We don't have that much information in the United States, particularly, on how much protection these respirators provide. We know which are more comfortable than others, but we're just at the beginning of figuring out which of these would be, best in terms of providing protection for folks.
And Dr. Burgess says they depend on cooperation from firefighters so studies can continue to shape policy moving forward.
They have to help us be able to enroll the firefighters to collect the samples, to collect the urine and the blood after these incidents, and they have to do their regular job on top of it.
So after years of running into danger for all of us, Dr. Burgess says the least they can do is run the science for them.
They deserve to have us help them.
Dr. Burgess says with wildfire seasons getting longer and more destructive, more research can't wait. The Forest Service says these changes are just the beginning as it works toward a more comprehensive program to better protect firefighters' health. Well, Tina Peters is out of prison and now back to claiming the same election rigging conspiracy theories that led her to commit crimes. The former Republican Mesa County clerk was convicted of several felonies for sneaking a hacker into voting systems to turn over info to fellow election deniers. Democratic Governor Jared Polis commuted her nearly 9-year sentence last month, saying she was sentenced too harshly because of her political views. Polis also claimed she was remorseful. However, Peters has been reliably proud of her actions and not the least bit remorseful so far. Peters gave her first public speech since her release yesterday at Freedom Fest, a MAGA event in Castle Rock. She repeated the same election rigging claims that led her to break the law.
To see how they were able to load the votes and flip votes. I'm seeing Mandami get elected. You know, when I was running for Secretary of State and Jenna Griswold cheated the election, if we don't stand up and we don't fight back now, what happened to me will happen to each one of you. This is our 1776 moment.
A spokesperson said Polis still thinks her sentence was too long and was illegal based on part on her free speech. Well, the U.S. Department of Education is once again threatening to take away federal funding from Jeffco Public Schools. This is all over the district's policies related to transgender students. The department's Office for Civil Rights started investigating the district last year. In March, it said that investigation uncovered 61 boys' names on girls' sports rosters. The district has said those names are for managers, trainers, and mascots, not athletes. Despite that, the OCR announced yesterday that it could refer the case to the Department of Justice and cut off federal funding. The district says it stands to lose more than $90 million. It's asking state leaders to step in, noting its policies align with the state's anti-discrimination laws. Earlier in the week, the school board authorized its legal counsel to begin preparing for a legal battle with the federal government. Many city facilities in Aurora will be closed for part of next week to save money. The third of 4 furlough days will be Thursday, July 2nd. The furlough days are part of a cost-saving plan to help the city's budget. Emergency services like police and fire will still be available. But most city facilities and operations like courts and libraries will not be open. There will also be some closures or adjusted hours on Friday, July 3rd. That's in observance of Independence Day. Now, those closures vary, so check the city's website for full hours. It's now a bit easier for the former Republican Pueblo County coroner and his brother to get out of jail while they wait to stand trial. Yesterday, the judge lowered the bonds for Brian and Chris Cotter, who are accused of stashing bodies in the funeral home they co-own. They were both arrested Thursday, nearly a year after inspectors discovered 24 bodies in a secret room at Davis Mortuary in Pueblo. In an update this week, investigators said there are now at least 125 victims. The Cotters face charges of abuse of a corpse, forgery, and theft. Their bonds are now set at $500,000. That's down from $1 million apiece. A family in Denver got a street sweeping ticket after a city notification system alerted them to the wrong date. Now they're facing a frustrating process to dispute it. A woman named Anna called Steve on Your Side after her family got ticketed near their home in the Regis neighborhood. Anna says they don't typically park on the street, so her husband signed up for the city's text alert reminders. The reminder he got this week said street sweeping was happening on Tuesday, so they moved the car that day and moved it back that evening. The next day, they got a ticket. Apparently, street sweeping on that block happens on Wednesdays, but the closest sign is about 400 feet away from where they parked.
It's their responsibility to give appropriate information, especially when they're advertising this as a way to not get tickets.
Denver's transportation department admits the alert system had the wrong date for that block and says the error has since been corrected. But a disclaimer on the page to sign up for alerts clears the city of all liability for mistakes in that automated messaging. Anna plans to dispute the ticket, but because of budget cuts last year, the city's court system eliminated a parking middleman position, which had previously handled disputes before they went to court. Now, the only way to dispute that ticket is to go to court and argue that case before a judge.